Why did Titanic sink in just 2 hours? Despite 1,200 days of construction, presented by National TV April 10, 1912, a date forever marked in history. On this day, the world witnessed the launch of what was considered the largest and most luxurious ship ever built, the RMS Titanic. The weather over the Atlantic Ocean was calm, and there was no sign of a storm anywhere in sight. Over 1,500 passengers had already boarded, and thousands more stood along the docks, bidding farewell and celebrating the ship's maiden voyage. But little did anyone know, not the passengers, nor the crew, nor the millions watching from afar, that this marvel of human engineering carried with it 6 deadly flaws. Flaws that would soon lead to one of the greatest maritime disasters in history. Today on National TV, we uncover the 6 critical mistakes that doomed the Titanic. Mistakes so subtle that even the most experienced hands in the shipping industry failed to notice them. Had these mistakes been avoided, perhaps the Titanic would be remembered today as the most successful ship of its time, rather than the most tragic. Let's begin with mistake number 1, speed over safety. Captain Edward Smith, a man with over 40 years of maritime experience, was under immense pressure. The ship's owners had given him strict instructions. The Titanic must reach New York by April 17th. No delays. Determined to impress the world and protect the company's reputation, Captain Smith pushed the Titanic at full speed from the very start. But every vehicle, every machine, and every ship has operating limits. Ignoring safety protocols like speed limits was the Titanic's first fatal flaw. From the moment it left Southampton, the ship sped through the Atlantic, oblivious to the dangers ahead. Mistake number 2, ignored warnings. By April 14th, the Titanic had been sailing for 3 days. That evening, a nearby ship, sailing just a few hours ahead, repeatedly sent wireless warnings. Icebergs had been spotted directly in Titanic's path. Experts believe the Titanic received at least 6 iceberg warnings that night, but due to carelessness or overconfidence, these warnings were missed or ignored. The wireless operators were more focused on sending messages for the first-class passengers than on paying attention to critical safety alerts. Had these warnings been taken seriously, the course of history could have changed entirely. Mistake number 3, no binoculars for lookouts. Even though the ship was traveling fast and the crew was aware of potential icebergs, the lookouts in the crow's nest did not have binoculars. Yes, you heard that right. The ship, touted as the pinnacle of safety and luxury, did not equip its lookouts with binoculars. As a result, the iceberg was spotted only when it was dangerously close, too late to avoid disaster. Mistake number 4, fragile rivets. Now, even though the iceberg was spotted late, there was still a slim chance to save the ship. Captain Smith immediately ordered the engines to stop and tried to steer away. The ship did manage to turn slightly, preventing a full head-on collision. However, the side of the Titanic scraped against the iceberg. Here's where another hidden flaw sealed its fate. The metal rivets that held the ship's steel plates together were not made of high-quality steel. Instead, they were cast iron, a much weaker material. When the iceberg struck, the immense pressure caused these weak rivets to snap, creating openings through which water began flooding in. Mistake number 5, not enough lifeboats. As the lower compartments filled with icy seawater, chaos erupted among passengers and crew. Despite the damage, the Titanic was designed to stay afloat even if 3 of its compartments flooded. But this time, the water reached a 4th, causing the ship to sink beyond recovery. The crew tried to evacuate passengers, but there was a huge problem. The Titanic was supposed to carry 32 lifeboats, but for aesthetic reasons and misplaced confidence in its unsinkability, only 20 were on board. With over 1,500 people needing rescue, there simply weren't enough lifeboats. Mistake number 6, poor lifeboat management. The chaos and panic that followed made matters worse. Instead of filling lifeboats to capacity, they were launched half-empty, mostly carrying first-class passengers. People panicked, and in the rush, many lifeboats left with empty seats. If these boats had been fully loaded, hundreds of additional lives could have been saved. Finally, at 2:18 a.m., the ship's lights flickered and went dark due to a massive electrical failure. Moments later, the Titanic broke in two and sank beneath the freezing Atlantic waves. The entire disaster unfolded in just 2 hours and 40 minutes. Tragically, over 1,500 souls were lost to the icy waters, where temperatures were a brutal -2 degrees Celsius. At such freezing temperatures, human survival time in water is less than 30 minutes. To make matters worse, many undocumented travelers, who had secretly boarded without tickets, perished, making the true death toll likely even higher than official numbers. Captain Smith, known for his bravery, spent his final moments helping passengers escape. He was the last to jump from the sinking ship, and so ended the tragic voyage of the Titanic, a ship built over 1,200 days, lost in just over 2 hours. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and share. Your support means a lot to us at National TV. See you in our next incredible story.